Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today we have 4 sovereign citizens in court to cover, with the first one being a follow-up to a SovCit I've covered before, and the last one being a cave dweller who decided to walk out of her hearing because she wasn't getting her way. All 4 of them are pretty short, so I'm going to let the videos play with limited interjections. We're going to start with the follow-up to the SovCit Karen that needed a walker and didn't think she could proceed due to the American flag having gold fringe around it. So, let's begin.
That's case 26R28. Do we have Brittany Wallace here? Okay, thank you. So if there's anybody here with Julia Hollingsworth, and if that's your only case, you can stay. I just don't want to keep you if you need to go, okay? But that'll go into default judgment. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So in case 26R28, default shall enter. For failure to appear.
So the first sovereign citizen Karen didn't show up, and since this isn't a criminal citation, there was not a bench warrant issued, just a default judgment against her. Now let's head to our next subsidiate in court.
So Aaron Martinez, 26M1326.
Cole Plummer for the people.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Could you please state your full name on the record?
Good morning. Aaron Martinez.
Thank you. All right. And sir, you're here for an advisement, which means that I have to go over. You see me do this. It's Rule 5 and Rule 16, which contains all the rights that you have within this case. Did you review these documents, sir?
I did.
Okay. And you did sign the second page of each one of these documents, which represents to the court the understanding that you have about your rights, correct?
It makes sense. I don't understand, but it makes sense.
Okay. Well, if you don't understand, you need me to
I
provide you an
overstand it.
advisement.
It's clear. Yeah, it's clear. I hear what it says. I just do not understand anything. I overstand it. I hear you. It's clear to me. I signed it.
A little concerned that if you don't understand your rights, then I have to advise you on it.
I do not need you to advise me. I hear it and read it clearly. Just the terminology and the words. I do not understand anything. So, but
Okay.
it makes sense to me.
What questions do you have about the rights?
Zero.
All right. I'm still a little. Well, you did sign these 2 documents,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
So that represents to the court, you know what these documents say.
That's correct.
And you do not have any questions for the court about the rights that you have within your case, either under Rule 5 or Rule 16.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. There is also, sir, a mandatory protection order in this case. And sir, this mandatory protection order states that you should not harass, molest, intimidate, retaliate against, or tamper with any witness or victims of the acts that you are charged with committing. Sir, do you understand the conditions of the mandatory protection order?
Yeah, there's no witnesses or no victims. I hear what it says. Don't mess with the officers that arrested me.
So that means you understand what this document, what I just explained to you, sir?
I hear you clearly. Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand what I just explained to you, sir?
I hear you and it makes sense. I agree with what you're saying.
All right. So I'm concerned. I don't want, my job here, sir, is to make sure that when I go through these documents,
Yeah.
if I need to further advise
You
you.
do not need to.
Stop,
Okay.
stop.
Mhm.
Okay. Stop 1 moment. Let me finish. If I need to further advise you, I'm happy to do so. And the reason why, sir, is because I have to make sure that when you provide and you sign these documents, you understand what you must comply with. This is a court order. So when you say, I hear what you're saying, hold on,
Mhm.
you're not answering my question. So my question is, do you understand? The answer is, yes, I do. Hold on, sir. Or no, I do not. And I'm happy when you say to me, no, I do not, then to explain it to you.
Okay.
With that advisement, I'm going to ask you the question
Okay.
again. I don't need you any further comment.
Right.
I need you to answer yes or no. I presented to you and I provided information to you about the mandatory protection order. I explained to you that it requires you not to harass, molest, intimidate, retaliate against, or tamper with anybody who is considered a victim or a witness in this case. Do you understand that, sir? Yes or not?
I do not need you to make it any more clear. I'm not going to use the word understand means to stand under someone's dominion. I'm not under you. You're not going to put your feet on me. So I hear you and I agree with you. And I'm 100% with what you just said. It's clear. I'm not going to harass, intimidate, molest, any of that with anybody. So
Thank you, sir. With regards to your case, are you applying for the office of the public defender? Yes or no? Are you applying for the office of the public
I'm gonna
defender?
go talk to him. I might get a private attorney.
Okay, so you need an attorney. You're gonna be looking for an attorney in this case.
But I do
Let's
have-
go ahead and set this for an peers of counsel in division. Mr. Martinez is going to division 301.
Second at 9 a.m.
June 2nd is a Tuesday at 9 a.m. Does that work for you, sir?
Yes, that should work.
All right, so let's set him for June 2nd at 9 a.m. in division 301. Anything further, Mr. Plummer?
No, thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you.
Thank
Back
you.
to you, sir.
So, this one is going to be a cluster, __, for sure. And I don't get why they think saying they understand is some kind of gotcha moment for the court. But understand doesn't have the same meaning as stand, just as doghouse doesn't have the same meaning as house dog. And the district attorney tried to let him know that before he left the courtroom.
Let me go ahead and call the next.
What did you say? Just explain this to me. No, I understand like what understand means, but. And if you overstand other people, doesn't that mean that you're doing that to them?
Are you okay, Mr. Plummer?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I was just curious on the terminology, that's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I know what was happening, but I'm not going to make a comment right now.
Alright, so that's the end of that hearing. Now, let's move on to our next.
Irvin Zamora Martinez, 2022 T136.
Before I enter the court, I'd like to establish that I reserve all rights under 1-308.
So if you're Mr. Zamora Martinez, you can come up to the podium. If you're not Mr. Zamora Martinez, I need to.
The living man,
So can I finish? I probably need to issue a failure to
I
appear bench.
I can't hear you.
I need to issue a failure to appear bench warrant if you're not Mr. Zamora Martinez. If you are Mr. Zamora Martinez, you can come to the podium and I can address the bond appearance and we can get the case. That's the podium. You can stay there. If you're not him, you shouldn't come up in front of the bar and I would just, if he's
Well, I
not
was-
here, I need to issue a failure to appear warrant.
I'm here in a representative
So
capacity.
if you're Mr. Zamora Martinez, if you're a representative and you're not an attorney, that's an illegal practice.
I'm not the corporate entity of the all caps name is all I,
And you can have a seat, sir, and I'll issue a failure to appear warrant. But if you're not Mr. Zamora Martinez, I don't need to advise you of anything.
Okay. I don't wish to cause any trouble to the court.
Look, I
you
don't know
could-
who you are, sir. I'm looking for Mr. Irvin Zamora Martinez. If that's not you,
I am the living man, Irvin Zamora
you're either
Martinez.
Mr. Zamora Martinez or you're not. If you're not, I don't want to tangle you up in this case.
I just told you I am.
Okay,
As
if
the
you
living
are,
man.
good morning, Mr. Zamora Martinez. So this is a bond appearance. So this is your case and this is a bond appearance. So what a bond appearance means is you missed court back in 2022. You missed a pretrial conference on June 1st of 2022. The charges that were outstanding then and that are still outstanding are two. There's two charges. One's a traffic infraction. That's like a ticket. That's speeding 20 to 24 miles per hour over the limit. So that's a traffic infraction. That level of speed is punishable by a fine only. The maximum fine on that level of speed is $200. That there's no possibility of jail. Now, the other charge is a misdemeanor charge of driving under the influence, DUI. That charge is punishable by jail possibility. DUI is punishable by 5 days to 1 year in the county jail. That's the maximum penalty on a misdemeanor DUI. If it's a first offense, that's the range. If it's a second or subsequent offense, in other words, you have prior convictions for either DUI or DWAI in Colorado or any other state, there is mandatory jail that's higher. 10 days if you have one conviction, 60 days if you have two, 90 days if you have three. Although that could be a felony, and this is a misdemeanor charge. So those are the two charges filed. With regard to those charges, you don't have to make any statement on the record about those charges. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. I can appoint a lawyer if you qualify through the public defender's office. It's free to apply, but you do have to turn in an application to their office. You have to get them to review it, and then they have to tell you whether or not you qualify. You also have the right to any attorney that you make arrangements with, any private attorney of your own choice. Any plea you enter has to be your own decision, your own voluntary choice. It looks like, let me see, you have a bail here. Take a look at it so I can advise you on that. It looks like you posted a cash bail, or Ms. Anderson posted a bail.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You posted a bail.
Yes.
Looks like you posted it yesterday, or Ms. Anderson posted it yesterday for you. So that bail will be held. It'll be returned to her as soon as you resolve the case. But that's, so stay on top of the bail and bond conditions, and then that bail is released and discharged when you wrap up the case. You have the right to a jury trial by 6 or a trial to the court. If you're a veteran, please advise me of that on the record. So I'm aware and the DA is aware, and I have some paperwork about veterans services. So those are the charges, and that's another advisement on the bond appearance. Do you wish any further formal advisement at this time?
I would like to get the public defender.
Okay, we have paper applications here, and you can take one of those. Their address is on it. It's 610 Main Street. I would encourage you to take it over as soon as possible, turn it in, and then make sure you communicate with them about whether or not you qualify. There's like an instructions sheet with it. It pretty much lines everything out, but you do have to go over there and turn it in, and then they require like information about finances, financial condition, stuff like that. So, okay. If you don't qualify, like I said, you do have the right to, and any attorney of your choice, you can represent yourself. Although I'm not saying you should make that decision lightly. That is an option. All right. Ms. Stewart, any other issues to address today on Mr. Zamora Martinez's case?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Zamora Martinez, any other advisement you wish or any other questions? I saw Austin handed you the application for the lawyer.
I'm not familiar with going to court, so I don't know what the procedures are, but I do have a question for this court record. I would like to ask for you to take judicial notice of your oath of office.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'll step off the bench. If you want to pass the case, you can have a seat. I'll go grab some paperwork. I'll make a better record about that issue once I get the other attorneys and everybody else in the courtroom who has other business to do today. So have a seat, and I'll circle back in just a moment and wrap up with you on those things, which will be super fast. But you'll have to wait until everybody else is done. So have a seat. I'll
I
circle
could
back.
waive that.
It's funny to me how they demand to stand on their flawed principles, but don't want to stick around so that the judge can explain exactly why their belief system has the equivalence of a steaming pile of dog, __. But that's the end of that hearing. Now, let's head to the main event where we have a living woman who decides that she's just going to leave her hearing when she doesn't get her way.
Lynn Matalana. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Can I have you please state your name and date of birth for the record?
First of all, I want to make note that
Hold on. What's your name and your date of birth?
I am a living, alive person
Have a seat.
here by special
I'll do it
appearance.
at the end. Go ahead. This happens to me all the time. Just have a seat.
Great. So you have a
Yeah, we're not going to do that whole dance today. Ma'am, Miss Matalana, you want to come back up? Give us another shot.
As I
Okay.
stated before, I'm a living, breathing woman. My name is Lynn Matalana. My date of birth, 65.
So ma'am, it looked like you wanted to have a contested hearing today.
Yes,
You've heard me talk to the other folks about what I can and can't do if we do a contested hearing, right?
yes.
Okay.
And what I'd like to do is provide the court a couple documents
Okay.
that need to be part of the recording. Do I just step up or do I give?
Hold on. Is this evidence in regarding your case?
Yes,
What kind of evidence?
this is some recorded documents regarding my status as a national versus.
I'm not doing that. So if you have
Well,
documents
no, you
about your
absolutely
insurance.
have to do this. The whole idea.
Hold on.
The
So-
whole idea is that I have never committed a crime. I haven't, I
These
only
aren't crimes.
have,
There are 3 traffic infractions.
right.
One's for
So-
not having insurance.
Right.
One's for not
So
registering your vehicle.
the
Hold
whole
on.
key is
And-
that this documentation that is recorded in a court, this
What
documentation.
court is it from?
This is from Pima County, Arizona.
Pima County. I don't,
I
this is
recorded
Pima
this.
County, Arizona.
I know,
ma'am.
that's why I want it recorded here.
No, we're not doing that.
It needs to be recorded here. I'll
No,
work
it's
with-
not germane to your case.
Yeah, it's very germane to my case because the key here is
Did
that
you-
I'm not
had-
subject as a citizen of the
That's fine.
corporation. I'm not subject to the statutes. I'm subject to laws.
I understand.
Okay, I drive very well. I take very good care of all my things. I'm
you have
going to
insurance?
ask that you dismiss it.
Do you have insurance?
I operate off of bond.
Okay.
I'm not subject to insurance and I have documentation on that too.
So you filed a
but-
bond with the state of Washington?
But you cannot,
Did you
E-
file a bond
even-
with the state of Washington?
not with the state of Washington,
Okay.
no.
All right.
So,
Well, that's fine.
but I mean, even I have all this that I've registered with the Department of State
Okay.
and the Department of, and I use a passport for my licensing
Okay.
from the Department of State. And this is what this documentation shows, everything that I've submitted to the US government regarding my status.
Okay. So certainly I'm gonna, if you
And
have
I
any
have
evidence
recorded
about.
a trust too.
Okay.
So the second thing is that every single infraction creates a bond under my account, under my strawman name.
So here's what I'm
So
gonna
I'm
do.
going to ask that
I'm
you
gonna allow
use,
you, I'm gonna allow you to make any argument you want about either whether you had insurance or whether your vehicle was registered or about the traffic control device. You and I are going to agree to disagree about the court's jurisdiction. I'm willing to hear that evidence. If you don't want to provide that evidence, I'm going to make my
I do
ruling.
not contract. I was
Okay.
riding with my
fine.
husband's car, but I do not contract with the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Okay. I'm
And
going to make
I
my
am-
decision and you are fine with, you can appeal it to the Superior Court in Clark County.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, this is the point where she leaves without being excused. Now, before we get to the outcome of this one, I do want to point out that she said that she doesn't contract with the Department of Motor Vehicles, but she does have a driver's license. It turns out that she's the mid-weight offspring of hypocrisy and dumb, __. So, let's hear the judge rule against her.
All right. The court is going to make the following findings. This is Officer Leon's report. I did provide the petitioner, Ms. Matalana, the opportunity to provide evidence. Seems that she's contesting the court's jurisdiction, her personhood and so forth in front of the court, which is fine. That's what a person can do. And certainly if I'm wrong about the court's jurisdiction over a case that takes place in Richfield, Washington, the Superior Court will tell me so. The officer's information shows that this red hatchback was approaching a stop eastbound off 85th Avenue in the city of Richfield, Washington, that the vehicle did not slow or stop at the intersection, which had clearly marked stop signs. As a result of that first infraction, the officer initiated contact by turning on his flashing emergency lights. The officer approached the driver. This is Officer Leon of the Richfield Police Department. The vehicle had pulled over. The officer identifies the license plate, Washington BFL 4269, explains the reason for the stop, asks the driver for her license. She states, quote, "I've dealt with you guys before and I don't provide information." The officer again asked for her driver's license, which she did provide. She's identified as Lynn Matalana by her Washington driver's license. Ms. Matalana said she would not provide insurance or proof of registration. She stated, "I don't have to give you that." When I explained that they are required to be provided to law enforcement on traffic stops, she stated, quote, "No, it's not. I'm traveling." I did inform Matalana that I would note in citation that she refused to provide documentation to me during the stop. I then issued sector citation to Matalana for failure to obey a traffic control device, failure to renew or having expired registration of greater than 2 months, and operating a motor vehicle without insurance. I am going to find, based on the officer's report and the fact that the petitioner today has provided no evidence that the failure to obey traffic control device did take place, and find that committed. Financial amount in the amount of $150. The second is to have the expired registration. Again, I asked the petitioner if she would want to provide evidence regarding the status of her registration. She said no. So again, I'm going to find that the failure to renew or having expired registration is also committed in the amount of $242. The operating a vehicle without insurance, I did ask. Ms. Matalana stated she had a bond on file with the state of Washington. That is an option in lieu of insurance. I asked her to show me the bond, which she did not agree to show me the bond. She then confirmed that she did not actually have a bond through the state of Washington. So I'm going to find that Ms. Matalana has not provided any evidence regarding the insurance as well. It'll be a $564 fine. I did inform Ms. Matalana she could appeal my decision to the Superior Court in Clark County. I do want to note she did leave the courtroom prior to me making these rulings and findings. I did not excuse her, but she did choose to go.
Alright, so that was the end of the video. We had 4 sovereign citizens in court with 2 of them losing, but all 4 of them are losers. Now, we will have updates for the 2 male jackasses in the future. So, if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike, but don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of my content.